and welcome to Manu Video Game Maker. To create your project from welcome screen, you will need to hit Create New Project button. By default, we are using the Documents folder and current date of your project's name. But you can change both names and location of the project to anything you want. Manu Workspace offers three modes: Edit mode, Animation mode and Game mode. In the Edit mode, you can add objects and change their properties. The left panel contains the main menu icon with system features, scene tree with all the objects in the scene, and library tab that helps to add various default objects to the scene. The right panel is contextual. It appears when the supported objects in the scene is selected. It changes the view when another type of object is selected, with different parameters and tabs. The animation mode can be used to animate all the existing objects in the scene and set up triggers to launch animations. In the animation mode, the left panel contains all available animations and the scene tree. The bottom panel is contextual and only visible in this mode. It has two tabs, Timeline and Triggers. Both are related to the selected animation. In the timeline there are keyframes, sounds and their settings. In Triggers tab, there are triggers that can launch the specific animation. The Game mode allows you to play and test the game. And by default, all panels are hidden to not interrupt the gameplay. To navigate in the 3D view, you can easily fly inside the scene with W, S, A, D plus E and Q keys. W is forward, S is the back, A and D are left and right, E and Q are top and bottom respectively. To pan the view, use the space and mouse. To rotate, use the right mouse button or Shift and W S A D. To zoom, just use mouse wheel. And finally, to orbit around selection object, use Alt plus WSAD or Alt plus mouse. In addition, there is a small view cube in the bottom right corner. You can click on its edges to rotate the view step by step. Click and drag to rotate to any custom angle. If the object is selected, you can use Alt and it will rotate around selection. With many objects in a scene, it can be hard to focus on the one you really need, so you can easily focus on any of them by double-clicking. To move the object, you can simply select it in the scene, switch to Move gizmo in the top center, and use arrows. If you want to move it in two directions at the same time, just hit squares of the specific side and move your mouse. To move it precisely, use the Transform panel. To place the main character, you can simply select it in the scene tree and then use gizmo controls. As usual, for precise placing, use Transform tab on the top right. So, when you launch the game, your character will be in this predefined position. To rotate the object, select it from a 3D view or scene tree. Then switch to rotation in the top center. You can rotate by X, Y and Z axis by clicking on the respective circle and moving your cursor. For precise rotation, use Transform tab on the top right. To scale the object, select it from the scene tree or 3D view. Then switch to Scale in the top center. You can scale by one of the axes, X, Y and Z, if you click on the specific arrow, or by two axes at the same time, if you click on the square icon. In addition, you can scale the whole object by clicking the cube icon in the center. For precise placing, use Transform tab on the top right. And you can lock object's proportions there to scale all values proportionally at the same time. In Manu, you can create hierarchies. Just drag one object in a scene tree to another. The object you dragged will become a child object. So, if you move its parent, the child will follow. It will also follow the rotation, so a personal angle will be added to the parent's one. And of course, it will also follow the size and scale of the parent object. To import the object, click on Manu icon, File, Import. This feature only imports 3D models to the scene. Then you can select the object itself inside the imported group, switch to Materials, and import required textures. Textures can be added to any 3D object in the scene. Just switch to Materials tab, pick your textures and apply required settings, like tiling and offset. To animate the object, we need to switch to the animation mode with a special button in the top center of the screen. Create new animation or pick the existing one. We kindly advise you to always set up a proper name to keep the project in order. Then you can switch to the scene, hit right mouse button on the specific object and click Add to the timeline. In the timeline, you will need to add a specific parameter to the object with plus icon. For example, its Y position. Let's use 5 and see how it works. In addition, you can use animation cycles to make repetitive motion. Animations can be pretty complex with multiple timelines and sounds. To make it more comfortable, you can change the size of the whole panel, so you will be able to see dozens of keyframes at the same time. One of the most common advice is that from all physics colliders, only kinematic bodies can be animated. Let's show how it works. We need to add a trigger that collides with the main character, and show colliders from the main menu. To change the game camera settings, we need to choose it in the bottom of the scene tree. In the game, you will see only this specific portion of the screen. We can change its position and rotation right from a 3D view. Changes will apply instantly to your game. In addition, you can precisely change its settings in the Transform panel. It can be handy to test settings of some objects in the game mode. Luckily, it's possible. Hit Manu icon, View, Show Left panel. Here is your scene tree. Let's select our main character. Look how many values we can change to make it fit our needs in the level. Let's try with a speed value. How about 16? Whoa, it moves so fast now. Now let's try 2. And it's super slow. 8 again, but can it jump over the obstacle? Nope, it can't. So let's change its jump speed to 8. Now it's done. Get for free now at manu.co.